Another day, another offseason rumor for the Warriors. Yesterday, we talked about Murray from the Hawks coming over to the Warriors in a trade. We had mixed bag. Some people loved it, some people said blah, and I saw a lot of comments that were like, that is a terrible idea. Today, we don't have a trade. We have a free agent the Warriors may be interested in. We're going to break it down and how the fit would be. In addition, Steph Curry, the man right there, won another award. Should he have been higher on the list, though? We're going to break it down for you on this episode of Warriors Digest. Before we get into it, Randy Silver here. Thank you all for watching, but look at this. Only 8% of the people watching are subscribed, which is up 4% from 2 weeks ago. But let's keep that number going up. Please subscribe so you don't miss updates like this daily, and it helps support the channel as we grow bigger and bigger. Let's get into it. Malik Beasley. Was that the name you were thinking of? Report. Warriors showing early free agent interest in Beasley. And notice, free agent interest, not a trade. So we won't have to give up any assets to be able to sign Malik Beasley. The question is he worth it? How much should we sign him for? Would he start off the bench? Things like that. The latest player tied to the Warriors is veteran sharpshooter Malik Beasley, who is attracting early interest from Golden State per The Athletic's Kelly Iko reporting Tuesday. League sources. Okay, sharpshooter. What are some of the things the Warriors need? Number one, again, I see it in the comments all the time, size in the paint. Probably not that type of player if he's a sharpshooter. We do need shooting, though, around Steph Curry to help us out, so check there. And overall, better athleticism. Beasley, 27, is also drawing interest from the Rockets and Magic. 27, so he's coming into his prime. Great. Someone who with us now potentially could be there for the future. In addition, what do we know the Magic need? Shooting. We've talked about this on this channel. That's why they are very interested in Klay. Obviously, we would love to keep Klay at the right price. Houston could use some more shooting as well. So it shows that he's coveted. There's going to be some competition out there. His stats. 6'4", 187. Coming out of Florida State, first round pick, number 19 in the first round to Denver. 6'4". So basically, he's Brandon's size, he's Steph's size, a little bit shorter than Kuminga, Moody. So there's not going to be someone who's going to come in and be empowering. Yesterday we talked about Murray. He's 6'5", inch taller, but sounds like he plays a bit bigger, looks like he plays a bit bigger. Beasley isn't quite known for his defense, so he would come in at the number 2 position. If we look at our roster right now, Steph Curry is going to be your starter. Brandon's your number 2. Kuminga's your 3. Draymond's your 4. Trace Jackson Davis is your 5. So the question is, does Beasley come in and start over Brandon? Absolutely not. If you bring him in, that can't happen. I thought yesterday Murray could potentially come in and start over Brandon. I think he provides a better 1-2 with Steph next to him. I know a lot of comments said, it didn't work with Trey. Why is it going to work with Steph? Different situation, bit of a different player, even though they're the same type of size. I think he doesn't have to do as much. He feels on the Warriors as they have the team around them, unlike Atlanta, where he's had to carry the team a bit when Trey wasn't performing. Here, Brandon needs to continue to play. I don't want to stunt his growth. He's a first-team All-NBA rookie, so he needs to play, meaning Beasley comes off the bench. So knowing that, let's look at his stats and his fit and salary. Is that a bench type of player? Last season, he averaged 11 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists. 4 seasons with Denver, 3 with Minnesota, and then the past 3 seasons, kind of been a journeyman, Utah, Lakers, Milwaukee. What was good to see initially, he started 77 out of 79 games this season. Last season, before that, with the Lakers, he was hurt, didn't play much, and has played a varying amount. Some seasons, not a lot, meaning he was pretty injured. Other seasons, much more. So, can't potentially be able to trust him to be there all season. Hard to bring a starter in and not think he's going to be there playing 65, 70 types of games. What matters here, again, sharp shooter. Think about that. Field goal percentage, 44%, was one of the highest of his careers. And that's in almost 30 minutes a game. So he did a great job shooting 3-point percentage, 41%, the second highest of his career. So boom, he can come in and be a 3-point shooter for us coming off the bench. Gives us better depth off the bench, can come in and shoot, help that second team, can be a spot starter if needed when, say, Brandon's hurt, Kuminga's hurt. However, I hope they don't get hurt, of course. Not going to come in and be a starter. His 11.3 points per game, severely down from his height. Minnesota, you see he played 14 games, averaged 20 points, too small of a sample size. That doesn't count. When he's playing a full 70, 80 game season, he's averaging 10, 11 points. So right there in his wheelhouse. Again, he's only 27. So he's healthy. You can expect that type of production. So that number, 41% shooting from three. That would be the highest on our team this season, right above Steph. And that, yes, you may be surprised. Draymond Green shot the three very well to his standards, the best of his career. He's really worked on it. But he can come in and shoot the three for us. If we're not going to be able to sign Clay, which we know right now, we don't have. Is he looking for a $40 million deal? Probably not going to get that. He can come in and help us out at a cheaper salary and shoot the ball better than Clay did. Shoot the ball better than all the other players you see here. So now, Randy, the question is, what's the pay? What do we got to do? This is his salary year over year, his contracts. He only earned just south of $3 million last year. Again, if we look at his season, he was coming off a really tough season with the Lakers where he was hurt. It's basically a prove-it deal. And he proved it. He played well. So he's probably going to move up, I would think, in salary to that maybe $5-10 million range, which is totally acceptable, totally fine for a bench player. We have that. So again, if we go back to where we're at right now, if you don't bring back Clay, which again we don't, he's not on the books. We don't bring back Chris Paul. That $30 million is gone. That puts you at $144. Potentially you make a trade or two. There's room here. But if you don't bring back Chris Paul, you have some options to bring some players in, and you have about $30 million until you get to that tax threshold to be able to bring some players in. So I think he comes in. He's a great option off the bench to be a sharpshooter, score for us, help us out, and then spot start. Comment your thoughts. Let me know you think this is a good idea, bad idea. I love reading the comments. And of course, if I comment back, which I do for most, let's have a conversation about it and let's dissect. And that will take us to our topic 2. Steph Curry, the bad man. He was voted to the 3rd team All-NBA team, along with Tyrese Halliburton, Domantas Sabonis, LeBron James, and Devin Booker. That could be an all-star team. That could be a first team. But nope, 3rd team. So the question is, did Steph Curry deserve to be higher? The honor marks the Warriors' franchise record 10th All-NBA selection. 4 first teams, 2nd team 4 times, and 3rd team twice. He's a 26th player in the NBA history to earn double-digit All-NBA honors. Deserved. He carried this team throughout the season. He was healthy throughout the season. There was really one point in the season, it was like February, March, when he rolled his ankle. He was out by, I think, like 4 to 5 games in that range. Came back, performed. Earlier in the season, he had some shooting slumps and was able to work himself out of it as well. We don't make the play-in game without Curry, especially with the struggles Clay had throughout the season, the struggle the Warriors had throughout the season. Draymond getting suspended multiple times. So Curry really carried this team and deserved All-NBA honors. When we look at the voting, so your first team is SGA, Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, and Tatum. 4 of the 5 aren't American. Shows the game is globally really healthy. Second team, Brunson, Edwards, Durant, Leonard, Davis. And we already talked about the 3rd team. So again, look at the votes. Curry right there, 117. He wasn't even close to the 2nd team. He was basically 113 votes away, in terms of points, to making the 2nd team. Didn't even receive a 1st team vote, mainly 2nd, 3rd team votes. Meaning the media felt like he did not deserve to be on the 1st team, really, or the 2nd team. He was a 3rd team player. Here are the players who missed it. So Jaylen Brown, 50 points, and then Devin Booker, 70 points. So a 20-point gap between the last and the 3rd team, the players that missed it. Maxey, what he did for the Sixers when Embiid was out to keep him afloat, think he probably should have been higher. You got Wembanyama, the Rookie of the Year, could have been higher potentially. Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year, not even close. So interesting to see across the board. So when we look at the stats, again, should Curry been higher up? Offensive leaders, defensive leaders, he's not in the top 5, so definitely not around the first team market. You look at advanced stats, he's really only in the top 10 of one, which is usage percentage. And we know that. Curry gets used all the time. But player impact estimate, he was 47. So 15 players in the All-NBA team, 47 player impact. So potentially he got voted up higher than he could have been. But in terms of net rating, assist ratio, everything like that, it wasn't statistically one of his best seasons he's ever had. It wasn't statistically a top season compared to other players. So when we look at this stat again, I think this is fair on the third team. Again, they also take into fact teams who make the playoffs. We look here, SGA, Jokic, Luka, all top 3 in their conference, Western Conference. Milwaukee fell off, obviously with Giannis being hurt towards the end of the season, and they got bounced early, but they were a top team all year. And Tatum with Boston had the best record, so it makes sense. Then you look down, James was a play-in, Curry was a play-in, Sacramento, Sabonis was a play-in, Halliburton, they were right there in the cusp, they weren't. And then you have Booker was basically right above, and they got bounced in the first round. Obviously, the voting happens before that, but you can see the players on the top teams, more to the top. Star players, a little bit lower. Steve Kerr, head coach, of course. It's amazing. 10 times now, Steph's been an All-NBA player. The brilliance for an entire decade is so rare. Steph's been an MVP a couple of times, a 4-time champion. But for 10 out of 11 years, the 1 year he was hurt doesn't count. He's been an All-NBA player. Testament to his work ethic, skill, and talent. An amazing accomplishment. I agree. Because, again, this isn't all-star voting we're fans in. This is the media voting, and your stats have to be there year over year, and they have been. And that's why Curry is going to go down as one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard ever. I think so. And one of the top 10 players ever. I think top 5. So comment your thoughts. Malik Beasley, yes, no, you like that? And should Curry have been higher on the list or lower? Of course, please subscribe to Warriors Digest. We have all this for you and more daily. Out.